Snow falls gently outside Brookside Cafe, collecting on the windowsills and dusting the shoulders of passers-by. Olivia stands frozen on the sidewalk, her breath creating small clouds in the frigid December air. Her fingers red from the cold clutch, her worn purse as she peers through the foggy glass. Inside, warmth and light beckon a cruel contrast to the chill settling in her bones. $3. That's all she has left. $3 that must stretch until payday, and even then it won't be enough. Not for rent, not for groceries, certainly not for an overpriced cup of coffee. Through the window, she watches a man in a crisp white shirt sitting at a corner table. Something about his posture speaks of quiet authority, shoulders straight, movements deliberate. But it's not him that catches her attention. It's the little girl beside him, no more than 5 years old, with soft brown curls and a pink dress. The child is hunched over a piece of paper crayon in hand, occasionally holding up her artwork for the man's approval. He smiles each time, a genuine smile that transforms his serious face. The hallway lights had dimmed in Maplewood Nursing Home the night before. Olivia was wiping oatmeal from the corner of Margaret's mouth, her movements gentle and practiced after years of nursing care. The old woman's hands were thin and fragile, but her eyes sharp as cut glass. "You have so much love in you, sweetheart," Margaret had murmured, her voice gravelly but sincere. "Don't let it dry up caring for others only." Olivia had smiled wearily, folding the napkin. "People like me don't get love, Margaret. We give it, patch it on to others, and go home alone." "That's nonsense." Margaret reached into her blanket and pulled out a folded note, pressing it into Olivia's hand. "Just show up," she'd said. "That's all I ask. Brookside Cafe, Saturday, 9:00 a.m. Olivia hesitated. "Margaret, I may not have much time left, dear," Margaret interrupted, "but I know a lonely heart when I see one, and I know another that needs healing." Now, standing outside the cafe with that very note still tucked in her coat pocket, Olivia stares at the small, happy child through the window. Was this really a setup? She'd thought it would be an awkward 5-minute conversation with an older man Margaret knew. Not this. Not a man with a little girl who looked like she had been raised in love, in gentleness, in laughter. Olivia closes her eyes. "You do not belong in there," her doubts whisper. "You can barely afford to exist." But then she hears Margaret's voice again in her mind. "Just show up." Taking a deep breath that fills her lungs with cold air, Olivia pushes open the cafe door. A small bell chimes overhead, and warmth embraces her like a forgotten friend. The scent of coffee and vanilla hangs in the air. The man looks up. Their eyes meet across the room. His expression shifts from confusion to curiosity to a polite smile. Olivia moves toward their table, her heart hammering against her ribs. "Hi," she says, her voice more fragile than she wants. "I'm Olivia. I work at Maplewood Nursing Home. Margaret asked me to meet someone here." The man blinks. "Margaret, you know my mother." Her stomach drops. "Your mother, William, your Jack," he nods, eyebrows raised. "I was told someone from the home would stop by today. I assumed it was for paperwork, not a meeting." Olivia bites her lip. She may have left a few details out. Jack chuckles, shaking his head. "That sounds exactly like her." He gestures toward the empty seat. "Would you like to sit?" Olivia hesitates. Her fingers brush the inside of her purse again, feeling the 3 crumpled dollar bills. The barista approaches the table. "What can I get for you, miss?" Her voice catches. She looks down. "I can't afford coffee today, I'm sorry." A silence falls. Then Jack leans forward, voice calm. "Then I'll get 2, he says. It's just coffee." Olivia slowly lowers herself into the chair. Cheeks flushed, but there's no mockery in his face, only warmth, curiosity. Beside him, the little girl peeks up over the table and smiles. "Hi," she chirps. "I'm Judy." Olivia smiles. "Hi, Judy. That's a beautiful drawing." Judy holds it out. It's a unicorn. Her name is Sparkle. She lives in a magic forest and eats cupcakes. Olivia laughs, the tension melting from her shoulders. "I think I'd like to visit that forest." Judy giggles, then turns back to her coloring. Jack watches Olivia with quiet interest. He had come expecting nothing, just a dull routine, a favor for his mother. But now, watching this stranger reach his daughter so effortlessly, something flickers in his chest, a warmth he hadn't felt in years. The coffee arrives rich and fragrant. Olivia wraps her cold fingers around the mug, savoring the heat. "So," Jack begins, "you work with my mother at Maplewood." Olivia nods. I'm a nurse there. I've been caring for her for about 6 months now. She speaks highly of you, says you're the only one who doesn't treat her like she's made of glass. A small smile touches Olivia's lips. Margaret isn't the type who appreciates being coddled. That's putting it mildly. Jack's eyes crinkle at the corners. She's been running our family with an iron will for 70 years. Your family, Winters Pharmaceuticals. He says it without pride or pretension, as if stating the weather. My grandfather started it, my father expanded it, and now it's yours, Olivia finishes. Jack studies her for a moment. Yes, for better or worse. Judy looks up from her drawing. Daddy makes medicine that helps people breathe better. Like me. She taps her chest. I have asthma. Asthma, Jack corrects gently. Something shifts in Olivia's expression. You have asthma, Judy. The little girl nods. Sometimes my chest gets tight and I can't breathe good, but Daddy has special medicine. Olivia's eyes meet Jack's. My mother had severe asthma. Had, he asked softly. She passed away 2 years ago. Complications during a particularly bad attack. I'm sorry, he says, and there's genuine empathy in his voice. A silence falls between them, not uncomfortable, but weighted with shared understanding. So, Olivia says finally, what exactly did Margaret tell you about me? Jack smiles ruefully. Nothing beyond that someone from Maplewood would be stopping by. Mother has always enjoyed her little mysteries. That's one way to put it. Olivia takes a sip of coffee. I should probably explain. Last night she gave me this address and told me to show up at 9. She said, Olivia hesitates, suddenly feeling foolish. She implied that both of us could use some company. Instead of the awkwardness she expects, Jack laughs, a genuine sound that transforms his face. That sounds exactly like her. She's been trying to fix my life since Catherine left. Catherine, his expression sobers. My ex-wife, Judy's mother. Judy, still coloring, seems unbothered by the mention of her mother, as if the woman exists only as a distant concept. She left when Judy was 4, Jack continues, his voice lower. Found the pressures of having a chronically ill child too much to handle, apparently. Olivia's heart constricts. Her eyes drift to Judy, happily coloring, seemingly oblivious to the adult conversation. I'm sorry, she says quietly. That must have been incredibly difficult for both of you. Jack shrugs, but the casual gesture doesn't mask the old pain in his eyes. We manage, don't we, sweet pea? Judy looks up and grins. We're a team. The best team, he agrees, brushing a curl from her forehead with a tenderness that makes Olivia's chest ache. For the next hour, conversation flows with surprising ease. Jack tells her about Winters Pharmaceuticals' focus on respiratory medications, his voice growing animated when discussing their latest research. Olivia shares stories from the nursing home that make him laugh. Judy interjects regularly, her observations startlingly insightful for her age. Olivia learns that Jack took over as CEO 3 years ago when his father retired, that Judy loves unicorns, hates peas, and attends kindergarten at Oak Ridge Elementary, that despite his obvious wealth, Jack prefers simple pleasures, hiking, woodworking, reading to Judy before bed. In turn, she finds herself sharing more than she intended. About growing up with a single mother who battled severe asthma, about working extra shifts to pay for her mother's medical bills, only to lose her anyway, about her apartment building being sold to developers, rent doubling overnight. So you're looking for a new place, Jack asks. Olivia stares into her empty coffee cup. Looking implies options. I have until the end of the month, but on a nurse's salary in this market. She trails off, embarrassed by the admission of her financial struggles. Judy, who has been quietly drawing, suddenly slides a paper across the table. This is for you. Olivia looks down at a crayon drawing of 3 figures holding hands, a man, a little girl, and a woman with yellow hair. Above them hovers a pink unicorn. That's Daddy, me, and you, Judy explains, and Sparkle is watching over us. Warmth blooms in Olivia's chest. It's beautiful, Judy. Thank you. She glances up to find Jack watching them, an unreadable expression on his face. We should probably let you get on with your day, he says, though he makes no move to leave. Actually, my shift doesn't start until 3. The words slip out before Olivia can stop them. Then perhaps you'd join us for a walk. There's a park nearby. Judy loves the ducks. Please come. Judy bounces in her seat. The baby ducks just hatched and they're so fluffy. How can she say no to that? Despite the voice of caution in her head, Olivia finds herself nodding. The park is a small oasis of green amid the city's concrete. Winter has stripped the trees bare, but there's a stark beauty to their silhouettes against the gray sky. Judy runs ahead, bundled in a red coat and matching mittens, her excitement a bright counterpoint to the dreary day. She has so much energy, Olivia observes as they follow at a more sedate pace. Too much sometimes, Jack agrees, especially when her medication makes her wired. The steroids, those can be rough. He glances at her. You know about asthma treatments. I lived them with my mother, and now I see it with patients at Maplewood. The medications help, but the side effects can be challenging, he finishes. That's actually what we're working on at Winters. A new generation of respiratory medications with fewer side effects. That would be revolutionary. That's the hope. Something in his tone shifts. The board wants to rush it to market, but I'm insisting on extended trials. The initial data shows promising results, but there's a small subset of patients who experience adverse reactions. What kind of reactions? Nothing life-threatening but significant enough that I'm not comfortable proceeding without more research. And the board disagrees. Jack's jaw tightens. They see the profit potential. I see my daughter. Olivia nods, understanding completely. It's easy to view medications as products when you haven't watched someone you love struggle to breathe. Exactly. He looks at her with newfound appreciation. Most people don't get that. They reach the pond in where Judy is already crouched at the edge, tossing small pieces of bread to a family of ducks. Her laughter carries across the water. She seems so well adjusted, Olivia observes. After everything, Jack watches his daughter. Kids are resilient, and I've tried to keep things stable. Same house, same school, same routines. The predictability helps. You're a good father. He looks surprised by the compliment. I'm trying to be. Some days are better than others. That's all any of us can do. Try our best each day. Their eyes meet and something passes between them, a recognition of shared values perhaps, or simply the comfort of being understood. A sharp ringing breaks the moment. Jack pulls his phone from his pocket, frowning at the screen. I need to take this. Work. He steps away, voice lowered. Olivia moves closer to Judy, keeping an eye on the little girl as she continues to feed the ducks. She can't help but overhear fragments of Jack's conversation. The trial results are in that high a percentage. No, absolutely not. We need more data. I don't care about the shareholders meeting. People's lives are at stake. His tone grows increasingly frustrated. Mother, this isn't about profits. Yes, I understand the board's position, but I won't compromise on safety. We'll discuss this at the meeting. He ends the call, his expression dark as he rejoins them. Everything okay? Olivia asks. Just business. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. Nothing for you to worry about. But something has shifted. The easy camaraderie of earlier has been replaced by a tension that hangs in the air between them. Daddy, can Olivia come to our house? Judy asks suddenly. I want to show her my room and my inhaler collection. Inhaler collection? Olivia raises an eyebrow. I keep all my old ones, Judy explains proudly. Daddy says someday they'll be in a museum when he invents the perfect medicine. Jack's expression softens. That's the dream, isn't it, sweet pea? To Olivia, he adds, she has quite the display. Colorful inhalers arranged by size and type. She's very systematic. I'd love to see it, Olivia says sincerely, but I should probably head to work soon. Another time, perhaps. There's a question in his voice. Before Olivia can respond, her phone buzzes. A text from Maplewood. It's the nursing home, she says, scanning the message. Margaret's asking for me. She's apparently refusing her medication until she speaks with me. Jack sighs. That sounds like Mother, always finding ways to get what she wants. I should go see her before my shift. We can drive you, he offers immediately. We were planning to visit her today anyway. The drive to Maplewood takes 15 minutes. Judy chatters the entire way, asking Olivia questions about Unicorn's nursing and whether cloud houses would be comfortable. Olivia answers each query seriously, earning approving glances from Jack in the rearview mirror. Maplewood Nursing Home sits on a gently sloping hill, its brick exterior partially covered with ivy. Despite the institutional nature of the building, The staff works hard to make it feel homey. Fresh flowers at the reception desk, residents' artwork on the walls, comfortable furniture in the common areas. Olivia, Nancy the receptionist, looks relieved. Thank goodness you're here. Margaret's been impossible all morning. I'm going up now. What room is she in today? Still in 302, but they're moving her to the sunroom for physical therapy in about 20 minutes. Olivia turns to Jack and Judy. You can come up with me or wait in the visitor's lounge. We'll come, Jack decides. Best to face Mother as a united front. They find Margaret sitting regally in her armchair, silver hair neatly coiffed, a book open on her lap. Despite her advanced age and the illness that has weakened her body, her mind remains razor sharp. Her eyes light up when they enter. Well, well, the three of you together. My plan worked beautifully. Jack frowns. Mother, what exactly are you playing at? Margaret ignores him, focusing on Olivia. Did you enjoy your coffee, dear? I did. Thank you for the introduction. Olivia keeps her tone professional, though she can't help but feel she's been manipulated, however kindly. Grandma, Judy rushes forward for a hug. I showed Olivia my drawing, and we fed the ducks, and she knows all about asthma because her mommy had it too. Margaret smiles, embracing her granddaughter. That's wonderful, darling. Would you be a dear and ask Nurse Nancy for some of those cookies I like, the ones she hides in her desk drawer? Judy nods eagerly and darts out of the room. Subtle mother, Jack says dryly. I'm old. I don't have time for subtlety. Margaret fixes her piercing gaze on Olivia. Did he tell you about the new medication? Olivia hesitates. He mentioned Winters is developing a new asthma treatment. And did he tell you it could help thousands of children like Judy? Or that the board led by that snake Eleanor is pushing to rush it to market, despite his concerns? Mother, Jack warns. Hush, Jack. Olivia needs to understand what's at stake. Margaret turns back to Olivia. My son is fighting a battle for the soul of our company. His father built Winters on the principle that patient safety comes before profit. Eleanor and her faction see only dollar signs. Why are you telling me this? Olivia asks. Margaret's expression softens. Because you understand both sides, the business of medicine and the human cost. Jack needs allies who share his values. I'm a nurse at your care facility, Mrs. Winters. I hardly think I have any influence in corporate matters. You have more influence than you realize, dear, on many things. Margaret's gaze flicks meaningfully between her and Jack. Before Olivia can respond, her work phone buzzes. A text from her supervisor, emergency in room 115. Need you now. I have to go, she says, standing quickly. Duty calls. Of course it does, Margaret says with a knowing smile. But this conversation isn't over. Olivia turns to Jack. It was lovely meeting you and Judy. Thank you for the coffee. He looks like he wants to say more, but simply nods. The pleasure was ours. As Olivia hurries down the hallway, mind already shifting to professional mode, she can't shake the feeling that something significant has been set in motion. Something that started with a simple cup of coffee she couldn't afford. The emergency in room 115 turns out to be Mr. Abernathy having another episode confusion that quickly escalates to agitation. It takes Olivia and two other nurses nearly an hour to calm him down and administer his medication. By the time things settle, Jack and Judy have left, though Margaret informs her smugly that they stayed quite a while hoping to see you again. The rest of Olivia's shift passes in the usual blur of medications, vitals, and patient care. But her mind keeps drifting back to the morning, to Jack's quiet strength, Judy's infectious laughter, the easy way they welcomed her into their world, however briefly. At 11 p.m., bone-tired after a double shift, Olivia clocks out. The night is cold and clear, stars visible despite the city lights. She pulls her thin jacket tighter, dreading the walk to the bus stop and the hour-long ride to her apartment. Olivia, she turns startled to find Jack standing beside a sleek black car in the parking lot. You scared me, she breathes, heart racing. What are you doing here? I came to offer you a ride home. He looks almost sheepish. Mother mentioned you take the bus, and it's late, and I thought, that's very kind but unnecessary. I do this all the time. Please, it would make me feel better. Something in his expression, concern mixed with something else she can't quite name, makes her hesitate. Where's Judy? Home with Mrs. Chen, our neighbor. She stays with Judy when I have evening commitments. Olivia weighs her options. The sensible choice would be to decline. She barely knows this man despite their immediate connection. But the thought of the cold bus stop, the long ride, the dark walk from the station to her apartment. Okay, thank you. The interior of his car is warm and smells faintly of leather and cinnamon. Olivia gives him her address, then falls silent, suddenly aware of how intimate it feels to be alone with him in the quiet darkness. Your mother is quite the matchmaker, she says, finally aiming for a light tone. Jack chuckles. She's been trying to fix my life since my divorce, usually with the daughters of her bridge partners. And what makes this time different? He glances at her. You're the first one Judy has liked. The simple statement hangs in the air between them. Your daughter is special, Olivia says softly. She has an old soul. She's had to grow up faster than I would have wished. A pause. Thank you for being so kind to her today. It wasn't kindness, it was genuine enjoyment of her company. They lapse into comfortable silence as the car moves through the nearly empty streets. Too soon they arrive at Olivia's building, a shabby apartment complex with peeling paint and security bars on the lower windows. Jack frowns as he pulls up to the curb. This is where you live. For the next 2 weeks, yes. Olivia unbuckles her seatbelt. Until the eviction takes effect. Eviction? She hadn't meant to say that. New owners doubled the rent. Most of us can't afford the increase. Where will you go? I'm still figuring that out. She attempts a smile, but I have some leads. The lie sits uncomfortably between them. In truth, Olivia has nowhere to go. Her savings depleted by her mother's medical bills, her credit maxed out, her options non-existent. Thank you for the ride and for today. She opens the car door. It was unexpected. Olivia? Jack's voice stops her. Would you that as Judy would love to see you again. Perhaps dinner at our house. The invitation takes her by surprise. I don't know if that's a good idea. Because of Mother's obvious maneuvering. Partly, and partly because she gestures vaguely at herself then at him. Different worlds. Are they so different? We both know what it's like to care for someone with asthma, to lose someone we love, to be left to pick up the pieces. The accuracy of his assessment startles her. Still, just dinner, as friends. Judy will be devastated if she doesn't get to show you her inhaler collection. Despite herself, Olivia smiles. Well, we can't have that, can we? Friday, 7 o'clock. He looks so hopeful that Olivia finds herself nodding. Friday at 7. His smile is worth the recklessness of her acceptance. The next morning, Olivia arrives at Maplewood to find Margaret waiting for her, dressed impeccably, as always, a knowing gleam in her eye. Good morning, dear. Sleep well. You know I had a double shift. Olivia responds, checking Margaret's vitals with practiced efficiency. Jack called me this morning, said he gave you a ride home. He also mentioned dinner on Friday. Olivia sighs. Do you have my entire week planned out, Mrs. Winters? Margaret, please. And no, not the entire week, just the important parts. The old woman reaches out her thin fingers surprisingly strong as they grasp Olivia's wrist. He needs someone like you, Olivia. Someone who understands what matters. And what makes you think I'm that someone? I've watched you care for the forgotten and overlooked in this place. You see people truly see them. Jack hasn't been seen in a very long time. Not since Catherine chose her career over her family. Olivia frowns. I'm not a replacement wife, Margaret. Of course not. You're yourself. That's precisely why you're perfect. Margaret's expression grows serious. But there's something you should know. The board meeting next week, it's crucial. Eleanor is pushing for a vote to override Jack's concerns about the new medication. Why are you telling me this? Because Jack won't. He compartmentalizes work-home Judy. He doesn't let one world touch the others. It's how he copes. And what exactly do you expect me to do with this information? Margaret's eyes twinkle. Nothing, dear. Just be aware. Knowledge is power, after all. The days until Friday pass in a blur of work worry and apartment hunting. Each lead ends in disappointment, rents too high, waiting lists too long, deposits too steep. By Friday afternoon, panic begins to set in. Where will she go when the eviction takes effect? A colleague's couch, perhaps, but for how long? These thoughts weigh heavily as she stands outside Jack's home at precisely 7 p.m. The house is a beautiful Victorian in one of the city's historic neighborhoods. Its architecture, graceful. Its garden, meticulously maintained even in winter. Warm light spills from the windows, and through one she can see Judy bouncing excitedly. Before Olivia can ring the bell, the door flies open, and Judy launches herself forward for a hug. "You came, Daddy said you might be too busy, but I knew you'd come because you promised, and Daddy says promises are important." Olivia laughs, returning the hug. "Mom, I did promise, didn't I? And I've been looking forward to seeing your famous inhaler collection." Judy grabs her hand, tugging her inside. "It's in my room, come on." The interior of the house is as beautiful as its exterior: hardwood floors, antique furniture, tasteful artwork. But unlike many elegant homes Olivia has visited during her nursing career, this one feels lived in. There are books stacked on the coffee table, a child's sweater draped over a chair, a half-completed puzzle on a side table. Jack emerges from what appears to be the kitchen, wiping his hands on a towel. He's dressed casually in jeans and a navy sweater, his hair slightly rumpled, his smile warm. "You made it." As promised, Olivia holds up a small gift bag. Just a little something to say thank you for dinner. He accepts it with a curious expression. "You didn't need to bring anything." "My mother raised me right," she says simply. Judy bounces impatiently. "Can I show her my room now?" "Daddy, please." "Go ahead, dinner will be ready in about 20 minutes. Judy pulls Olivia upstairs, chattering the entire way. Her bedroom is a child's paradise: walls painted soft purple, a canopy bed draped in fairy lights, bookshelves overflowing with stories and treasures. "And this," Judy announces proudly, gesturing to a shelf above her desk, "is my inhaler collection." True to Jack's description, the shelf holds at least a dozen inhalers of various colors and designs arranged by size and type. Beside them sit nebulizer masks decorated with stickers, spacers of different sizes, and what appears to be an antique glass inhaler. "That one was Grandpa's," Judy explains, pointing to the glass piece. "From when he was little like me. Daddy says medicine has come a long way since then." "It certainly has." Olivia agrees, genuinely impressed by the display. "This is quite a collection." "Daddy says someday I won't need them anymore because he's making a special medicine just for me. One that will fix my lungs forever." The simple faith in her father's abilities tugs at Olivia's heart. "Your dad is very smart. If anyone can do it, he can." "That's what I think, too." Judy pulls open her desk drawer and removes a folded paper. "I made this for you." It's another drawing, this one more detailed than the first. A woman with blonde hair, clearly Olivia, stands beside a hospital bed where an older woman rests. "That's you taking care of Grandma," Judy explains. "Daddy says you're the best nurse, and that's why Grandma likes you so much." "This is beautiful, Judy. Thank you. You can put it on your refrigerator. That's where Daddy puts all my special drawings." "I will definitely do that." They return downstairs to find Jack setting the dining table. The scent of roasted chicken and garlic fills the air. "Something smells amazing," Olivia says. "Daddy's a good cooker," Judy declares. "He makes the best chicken in the whole world." "High praise indeed." Olivia smiles at Jack. "Can I help with anything?" "Everything's under control. Have a seat." Dinner is delicious roasted chicken with herbs, garlic, mashed potatoes, fresh green beans. Conversation flows easily, punctuated by Judy's laughter and enthusiastic stories about school. For a few hours, Olivia forgets about her impending eviction, her financial worries, the uncertainty of her future. After dinner, while Jack cleans up, despite Olivia's protests, Judy insists on showing her the garden. Though winter has stripped most plants bare, the space is still beautiful. Stone pathways, carefully pruned, shrubs, a small fountain now silent for the season. "In spring, we have flowers everywhere," Judy says, spinning in a circle with her arms outstretched. "And butterflies. So many butterflies." "It must be magical," Olivia agrees. "You'll have to come back and see it," Judy says, as if it's settled. Back inside, Jack has made coffee and set out a plate of cookies. Judy, after a token protest, agrees it's bedtime and asks Olivia to help tuck her in. The bedtime routine is sweet and clearly well-established: teeth brushing, pajamas, 3 stories. No more, no less, a sip of water, and finally a breathing treatment through her nebulizer. "Will you stay until I fall asleep?" Judy asked, her voice small. "Of course," Olivia promises, sitting on the edge of the bed. It doesn't take long. The medication makes Judy drowsy, and within minutes of finishing her treatment, Her breathing deepens into sleep. Olivia watches her for a moment, this brave, bright child who faces each day with such joy despite her challenges. She finds Jack in the living room staring into the fireplace where flames dance and crackle. "She's asleep," Olivia says softly. He looks up, his expression unguarded. "Thank you. She doesn't usually take to new people so quickly." "She's an extraordinary child." "She is." He gestures to the space beside him on the sofa. "Join me." Olivia sits, accepting the coffee he offers. For a moment, they simply exist in comfortable silence, watching the fire. "Your mother mentioned a board meeting next week," she says finally. Jack's expression tightens. "She shouldn't have involved you in that." "She did not really, just mentioned it was important." He sighs, running a hand through his hair. "It's complicated. Business usually is. This is more than business. It's about values, principles." He meets her eyes. "About what kind of company Winters will be going forward?" "Because of the new medication." "Partly." He seems to debate whether to continue, then makes a decision. "The medication shows incredible promise. Early trials suggest it could reduce asthma attacks by up to 80% in most patients." "That's remarkable." "It is, but there's a small subset, about 8% of test subjects, who experience adverse reactions. Nothing life-threatening, but significant enough that I believe we need more research before proceeding." And the board disagrees. "My sister Eleanor leads the faction pushing for immediate FDA submission. She argues that 92% effectiveness is exceptional by industry standards and that the potential profits justify moving forward now." "What does your father think?" "He's officially retired, though he still holds shares. But his health isn't good, and Eleanor has been handling his proxy votes." "Which gives her more influence." "Exactly." Jack stares into the fire. "The vote is next Thursday. If Eleanor's faction wins, we submit to the FDA immediately with the current formulation. And if your side wins, we continue research focusing specifically on identifying markers that might predict which patients fall into that 8%. So doctors could know in advance who shouldn't take it." He nods. "Precisely. It would delay market release by at least a year, maybe two, but it would be the right thing to do. For Judy," Olivia says softly. "For Judy. For every child like her." He meets her eyes. "My father built Winters on the principle that patient welfare comes before profit. I won't be the one to abandon that legacy." The conviction in his voice, the integrity it represents, stirs something in Olivia. In a world where so many pursue wealth at any cost, his commitment to doing what's right, even at personal expense, is rare. "What can I do to help?" The words slip out before she can consider them. Surprise flickers across his face. "You want to help?" "If I can. I believe in what you're fighting for." He studies her for a long moment. "There is something, actually. The board responds to data, patient stories, real-world impacts. Like testimony." "Exactly. As a nurse who's worked with asthma patients who had a mother with severe asthma, your perspective could be valuable. Would you be willing to speak at the board meeting? Just briefly about the human cost of rushing medications to market without adequate safety protocols." Olivia hesitates. Board meetings? Corporate politics. These are far outside her comfort zone. But the thought of Judy, of children like her being given medication that might harm them because profit took precedence over safety. "Yes," she says firmly, "I'll do it." Relief washes over his features. "Thank you. I can't tell you what that means." His phone rings suddenly, the sound jarring in the quiet room. He checks the screen, frowning. "I need to take this. It's the lab." He steps into another room, closing the door, but his voice carries tense concern. "How bad? When did this happen?" "No, absolutely not. We stick to the protocol. I don't care what Eleanor says." When he returns, his expression is grim. "What's wrong?" Olivia asks. "Someone accessed the restricted lab database, downloaded files on the test subjects who experience adverse reactions." "Why would someone do that? To bury it or alter it?" His jaw tightens. "Only senior executives have that level of access." "You think Eleanor—" "I don't want to believe my own sister would go that far." "But the timing is suspicious." Olivia feels a chill that has nothing to do with the temperature. "What will you do?" "Whatever it takes to protect those patients, to protect Judy." He looks at her, something fierce and determined in his gaze. I won't compromise on this, Olivia, even if it costs me the company. In that moment, standing in the firelight, his conviction palpable, Jack Winters embodies everything Olivia has ever admired: integrity, courage, unwavering commitment to what's right. Then we'll fight, she says simply, together. His expression softens, gratitude, and something else, something deeper in his eyes. Thank you for understanding, for caring about this. How could I not? It's about people's lives, children's lives. He steps closer, his voice low and intense. You have no idea what it means to find someone who sees this the way I do. Most people just see dollar signs or abstract data points. I've held too many children struggling to breathe to see it as abstract. Olivia replies, her own voice quiet but passionate. I watch my mother fight for every breath. There's nothing abstract about that. For a moment, they stand close enough that Olivia can feel the warmth radiating from him and can see the flecks of gold in his brown eyes. Something shifts between them, the careful boundary of new acquaintances giving way to something deeper, a recognition of kindred spirits. Jack's phone buzzes again, breaking the moment. He glances down, then back at Olivia, regret clear in his expression. It's the lab again. I need to go, she says, understanding. It's important. As he moves to take the call, Olivia catches his arm. Jack, when you say whatever it takes, just be careful. Eleanor sounds like a formidable opponent. His smile is grim but appreciative. I will. And Olivia, thank you for everything. 2 days after the dinner at Jack's house, Olivia unlocks her apartment door to find an eviction notice taped prominently to the front. Final warning, all belongings must be removed by Friday at noon. Her shoulders slump as she pulls the notice down, crumpling it in her fist. Despite all her searching, she hasn't found another affordable place. The city's housing market has become impossible for someone on a nurse's salary. Inside, her phone rings. It's Jack. She hesitates before answering, still processing their intense conversation about the board meeting and his company's medication. Hello. Olivia, I hope I'm not calling at a bad time. His voice is warm but tentative. No, it's fine. I just got home from my shift. I've been thinking about our conversation the other night, about Judy and the company, and he pauses. Olivia, I have a proposition for you. She sinks into her second-hand armchair, the only decent piece of furniture she owns. What kind of proposition? I need someone to help care for Judy and monitor her asthma. Someone with medical training who understands what we're dealing with. And my mother, her health is declining. The doctors are recommending in-home care rather than keeping her at Maplewood. Olivia's pulse quickens. Jack, what are you saying? I'd like to hire you as a private nurse for both Judy and my mother. You'd have your own suite in the house, a generous salary, and complete professional autonomy. The offer hangs between them, stunning in its timing and scope. This isn't charity, he adds quickly, as if sensing her hesitation. I genuinely need someone with your qualifications, and Judy adores you already. Olivia glances around her tiny apartment at the boxes she's already started packing. I don't know what to say. Say yes. At least come see the setup before deciding. The East Wing has a private suite that would be yours: bedroom, sitting room, bathroom. You'd have as much privacy as you want. When would you need me to start? Mother's being discharged on Friday, so ideally, his voice trails off. Friday, the same day she needs to be out of her apartment. The coincidence feels too perfect, almost orchestrated. Did Margaret put you up to this? She asks suddenly. Jack's laugh is warm through the phone. She may have mentioned your housing situation, but the need is real, Olivia, and you're the perfect solution. After a long pause, she finds herself saying, I'll come see the setup tomorrow, but no promises. That's all I ask. The next morning, Jack gives her a tour of what would be her quarters, a beautiful suite of rooms in the east wing of his home decorated in soft blues and creams. The bedroom windows overlook the garden, and the sitting room has been converted into a small nursing station with all the equipment she might need for Margaret's care. This is too much, Olivia says, running her hand over the elegant desk. It's what Mother deserves, Jack replies, and what you deserve for taking on this responsibility. As they continue the tour, Judy skips alongside them, clutching Olivia's hand and pointing out features with childish enthusiasm. And this is where you can put your books, and Daddy says you can decorate however you want. And you can have breakfast with us every day. Olivia smiles despite her reservations. You've thought of everything. So you'll stay? Judy asks, eyes hopeful. Olivia looks to Jack, whose expression remains carefully neutral, letting her make her own decision. Yes, she says finally, I'll stay. Judy's squeal of delight echoes through the hallway. 2 days later, Olivia moves into the Winters household. Her few possessions barely fill a quarter of the spacious closet and dresser. The contrast between her worn clothes and the elegant surroundings makes her self-conscious, but Jack never comments on it. Margaret arrives that afternoon by private ambulance. Despite her weakened state, her mind remains sharp, her wit intact. So my scheme worked, she says as Olivia helps settle her into the specially prepared bedroom. I always get what I want in the end. Was this all part of your plan? Olivia asks, adjusting the oxygen flow. Meeting at the cafe, my eviction notice appearing just as Jack needed a nurse. Margaret's eyes twinkle. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous, my dear. But I will say when opportunity presents itself, I've never been one to ignore it. Adapting to life in the Winters household takes time. Olivia struggles with the transition from public nurse to private care. The wealth surrounding her, the casual luxury, the staff who come and go, the ease with which Jack handles expenses that would have crippled her, creates an invisible barrier she can't quite breach. You're too quiet at dinner, Jack observes one evening after Judy has gone to bed. Is something wrong? Olivia hesitates. I'm still adjusting to all of this. She gestures vaguely at the elegant dining room. I've spent my life working for every dollar. Being here with all this, she trails off, unsure how to express her discomfort without sounding ungrateful. Jack studies her thoughtfully. Does it make you uncomfortable, the money? Not the money itself, the imbalance. I'm living in your home, eating your food, being paid to care for your family. It feels transactional, he suggests. Yes, and I hate that feeling. Jack leans forward, his expression earnest. Olivia, you're not just an employee. You're changing our lives. Judy is happier than I've seen her in years. Mother is actually taking her medications without argument. And he pauses. I have someone to talk to. Do you know how rare that is for me? His honesty touches something in her. Thank you for saying that. It's the truth. Now tell me about your day. Did Judy show you her science project? As weeks pass, Olivia establishes a rhythm in the household. Mornings with Judy before school, administering her asthma treatments and preparing her lunch. Days with Margaret monitoring her condition and providing companionship. Evenings with the family, helping with dinner and Judy's bedtime routine. What she hadn't anticipated was becoming Jack's confidant. Late in the evenings after Judy is asleep and Margaret has retired, they often find themselves in his study discussing the ongoing battle at Winters Pharmaceuticals. Eleanor has consolidated her support on the board, Jack explains one night, pacing in front of the fireplace. She's convinced 3 more members that delaying the medication release is fiscally irresponsible. But what about the adverse reactions, Olivia asks? Minimized, downplayed. Acceptable risk is the term being thrown around. The bitterness in his voice is palpable, as if we're talking about a potential rash, not children's ability to breathe. Olivia watches him, recognizing the toll this fight is taking. The circles under his eyes have darkened his shoulders, carrying visible tension. When was the last time you took a day off? She asks. He looks up surprised. What? A day off? No work, no board meetings, no emergency calls, just time with Judy doing something fun. I don't have time for, you need it, she needs it, and frankly, fighting Eleanor when you're exhausted isn't a winning strategy. Jack stares at her for a moment, then a slow smile spreads across his face. Dr. Olivia prescribing recreation as medicine. Exactly. Doctor's orders. The next day, Jack cancels all appointments and takes Judy to the zoo. Olivia stays with Margaret, whose condition has stabilized but still requires regular monitoring. You're good for him, Margaret observes as Olivia checks her vitals. He listens to you. He's just being polite, Olivia demurs. Jack isn't polite, dear. He's honest. Always has been, even as a child. If he disagreed with you, you'd know it. Margaret adjusts her position in the bed. He hasn't taken a day off since Catherine left. Not one. Olivia's hand still. 4 years without a break. How has he managed duty, responsibility, the Winters family way? Margaret's tone carries equal parts pride and regret. We've always put obligation before personal happiness. That's a heavy burden to carry. Yes, and I fear I placed too much of it on his shoulders. Margaret's eyes still sharp despite her failing health fix on Olivia. That's why he needs you. To remind him there's more to life than duty. When Jack and Judy return that evening, the transformation is remarkable. Jack's face is relaxed, his laugh easier as Judy excitedly recounts their adventures with the elephants and penguins. Thank you, he says to Olivia later when Judy has gone upstairs to get ready for bed. You were right. We needed that. I'm glad you had fun. We did, and it made me realize something. He steps closer, his voice lowering. I've been so focused on fighting Eleanor, on saving the company, that I've been neglecting what matters most. Judy. Yes, and his eyes meet hers, something unspoken passing between them. The moment is interrupted by the sharp ring of the doorbell. Jack frowns, checking his watch. It's after 8. Who would be visiting at this hour? He moves to answer it, Olivia following a few steps behind. When the door swings open, a striking woman stands on the threshold, tall blonde, impeccably dressed in a designer suit that probably costs more than Olivia's monthly salary. Catherine, Jack says, his voice cooling several degrees. This is unexpected. Olivia freezes suddenly, understanding who this is. Judy's mother, Jack's ex-wife. The woman who abandoned them when Judy's asthma became too much to handle. Hello, Jack. Catherine's voice is smooth as silk, her smile practiced. Aren't you going to invite me in? It's freezing out here. Jack steps aside, his expression guarded. Catherine sweeps in her eyes, taking in the entryway before landing on Olivia. And who might this be? She asks, though her tone suggests she already knows. Olivia Bennett, Jack replies. Judy's nurse and my mother's caregiver. A live-in nurse? How convenient. The insinuation in Catherine's voice is unmistakable. And where is my daughter? The possessive pronoun hangs in the air, jarring after 4 years of absence. Before Jack can answer, Judy's voice calls from the top of the stairs. Daddy, who's at the door? Catherine turns, looking up at the little girl in her unicorn pajamas. Hello, Judy. Do you remember me? Judy freezes, her small face scrunching in confusion. Mommy. That's right, sweetheart. I've come to see you. Judy doesn't move, her hand clutching the banister. Her eyes find Olivia's, seeking reassurance. Olivia gives her a small nod and a smile, though her heart is racing. Why don't you come down and say hello properly? Catherine suggests. Judy descends the stairs slowly, each step hesitant. When she reaches the bottom, she stands closer to Jack than to Catherine, her body language speaking volumes. You've grown so much, Catherine says, bending slightly. You're so beautiful. Thank you, Judy replies politely, but makes no move to embrace her mother. An awkward silence falls. Catherine straightens, turning back to Jack. Perhaps we could speak privately. I have some matters to discuss. Jack glances at Olivia. Would you mind taking Judy upstairs? It's past her bedtime. Of course. Olivia holds out her hand. Come on, Judy. Let's get you tucked in. Judy takes her hand immediately, a silent statement that doesn't go unnoticed by Catherine, whose smile tightens at the edges. Upstairs, as Olivia helps Judy with her bedtime routine, the little girl is uncharacteristically quiet. Are you okay, sweetheart? Olivia asks, tucking the covers around her. Is she going to take me away? Judy's voice is small, frightened. The question catches Olivia off guard. Why would you think that? Because she's my real mommy, but I don't want to go with her. I want to stay with you and Daddy. Olivia's heart constricts. Oh, Judy. She sits on the edge of the bed, smoothing back the girl's curls. No one is taking you anywhere. This is your home with your dad, who loves you very much. But she left before. What if she takes me away and then leaves again? The fear in Judy's eyes is so raw, so honest, that Olivia has to fight back tears. Your daddy would never let that happen. And neither would I. Promise. I promise. Only when Judy has fallen asleep does Olivia make her way back downstairs. She pauses outside Jack's study, voices filtering through the partially closed door. 4 years, Catherine. 4 years without a call, a visit, even a birthday card. And now you suddenly want to reconnect with Judy. I've changed, Jack. I've had time to reflect, to grow. I want to be part of her life again. Just like that, after all this time, I'm her mother. I have rights. Rights you signed away in the divorce settlement. Quite eagerly, as I recall. That was a mistake, one I deeply regret. And why now? Why after 4 years of silence? A pause. I saw her picture in the society pages. At the Children's Hospital fundraiser last month, she looked so grown up, so beautiful. It made me realize how much I've missed. Jack's laugh is hollow. You saw her picture. That's what brought you back. Not concern for her health, not worry about how she's coping with her asthma, but a photograph in a magazine. That's unfair, Jack. Unfair. You want to know what's unfair? Having to explain to a 4-year-old why her mother left. Watching her check the mail every day for months, hoping for a letter that never came. That's unfair, Catherine. Olivia begins to back away, feeling like an intruder on this private pain when the door opens fully. Catherine stands there, her composure slightly fractured around the edges. Eavesdropping, nurse, she asks coldly. I was coming to let Jack know Judy is asleep, Olivia replies evenly. Catherine studies her, a calculating look in her eyes. You seem to have made yourself quite at home here. Catherine, Jack's warning tone comes from inside the study. I'm just making an observation. Catherine smiles, though it doesn't reach her eyes. Well, I should be going. We can continue this discussion another time when you're feeling more reasonable. She brushes past Olivia, her expensive perfume lingering in the air. Jack appears in the doorway, his expression dark. I'll see you out, he says to Catherine, following her to the front door. Olivia retreats to the kitchen, giving them privacy for their goodbyes. When Jack joins her a few minutes later, his face is tight with barely controlled anger. I'm sorry you had to witness that, he says, pouring himself a glass of water. No need to apologize. Are you okay? He shakes his head. I don't know what her game is, but she's never done anything without an ulterior motive. She seems sincere about wanting to reconnect with Judy. Catherine doesn't do sincere. She does calculated. He sets down his glass with more force than necessary. The timing is too convenient. What do you mean? He hesitates, then sighs. Mother recently updated her will. She's setting up a trust fund for Judy, quite substantial. The family lawyer finalized it last week. And you think Catherine found out somehow? I don't know, but it's suspicious. He rubs his eyes tiredly. Judy was upset. She's afraid Catherine will take her away. The raw pain that flashes across Jack's face makes Olivia want to reach out to him. I would never let that happen. That's what I told her. Their eyes meet, a moment of perfect understanding passing between them. Whatever happens, they'll protect Judy. Together. The next morning, Olivia finds Margaret already awake when she brings in her medication. Catherine's back, Margaret states flatly. I heard her voice last night. Yes, she says she wants to reconnect with Judy. Margaret's laugh turns into a cough. After 4 years, how convenient. Jack thinks she might have heard about the trust fund. Of course she did. Catherine has always had excellent timing when it comes to money. Margaret adjusts herself in the bed, wincing slightly. Watch her, Olivia. She's dangerous when she wants something. You really think she'd try to take Judy? I think she'd try to take anything she believes belongs to her. And in her mind, Judy is a possession, not a person. The warning sends a chill through Olivia. Jack would fight her. Yes, but legal battles are messy and expensive, even with Jack's resources. Margaret reaches for Olivia's hand, her grip surprisingly strong. That's why you need to be vigilant. Judy trusts you. She'll tell you things she might not tell Jack. The intensity in Margaret's eyes is unsettling. I'll keep an eye on her, Olivia promises. For the next week, life returns to its routine, though Catherine's visit has left a shadow over the household. Jack works longer hours, coming home tense and preoccupied. Judy becomes clingy, wanting Olivia to stay with her until she falls asleep each night. Even Margaret seems affected, insisting on being updated about Judy's daily activities, asking pointed questions about whether Catherine has called or visited again. Then one Tuesday evening, while Jack is working late, Olivia is helping Judy with her homework when the doorbell rings. Through the side window, she sees Catherine standing on the porch, a large gift-wrapped box in her arms. "Who is it?" Judy asks, looking up from her math worksheet. "It's your mother," Olivia says carefully. "Should I let her in?" Judy's face clouds, but she nods. "Daddy says we should always be polite." Olivia opens the door, maintaining a professional demeanor. "Ms. Winters, Jack isn't home right now." "I know, I came to see Judy." Catherine's smile is picture perfect. "I brought her something." Reluctantly, Olivia steps aside. Catherine sweeps in her gaze, immediately finding Judy at the dining room table. "Hello, darling. I brought you a present." Judy approaches cautiously, eyeing the large box. "Thank you." "Open it. I picked it out especially for you." Under Catherine's expectant gaze, Judy unwraps the box to reveal an expensive electronic tablet already loaded with games and apps. "It's the newest model," Catherine explains. "All your friends probably have one." "Daddy says I'm too young for a tablet," Judy says, looking uncertainly at Olivia. Catherine's expression hardens momentarily. "Well, I think you're plenty old enough, and mothers know best, don't they?" The manipulation is so transparent that Olivia has to bite her tongue. Judy, perceptive as always, places the tablet carefully on the table. "Thank you, but I should ask Daddy first." Catherine's perfectly manicured hand tightens on her designer purse. "Of course. Always Daddy's rules." Her tone shifts, becoming syrupy sweet. "I thought perhaps you might like to come with me for ice cream. Just the two of us to catch up." Judy's eyes widen with alarm. She moves closer to Olivia, nearly pressing against her side. "I can't go out on school nights, and I have asthma treatments at 8 o'clock. Surely they can wait one evening for your mother." "I'm sorry, Ms. Winters." Olivia interjects, her nurse persona firmly in place. Judy's treatment schedule is very strict. Doctor's orders. Catherine's eyes narrow. "I see. Well, perhaps another time then, when Daddy isn't being so rigid." She bends to kiss Judy's cheek, but the little girl flinches away, the movement slight but unmistakable. Catherine straightens her composure, cracking just enough to reveal the anger beneath. "I'll call you soon, darling. We'll plan a special day together." After she leaves, Judy remains silent, staring at the expensive tablet as if it might explode. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" Olivia asks, kneeling to her level. "I don't like her," Judy whispers. "Is that bad to not like your own mommy?" Olivia chooses her words carefully. "Feelings aren't right or wrong, Judy. They just are. It's okay to feel however you feel." "She smells funny, and she looks at me like I'm a doll in a store window." The insight is startlingly accurate for a 5-year-old. "You're very perceptive." "What does that mean?" "It means you notice things other people might miss." Judy nods, then asks the question Olivia has been dreading. "Do I have to go with her if she asks again?" "No," Olivia says firmly. "Not unless your dad says it's okay, and I promise you he wouldn't make you go if you didn't want to." Later that night, after Judy is asleep, Olivia recounts the visit to Jack. His face darkens with each detail. A tablet ice cream on a school night. She doesn't know the first thing about parenting, or about Judy. "She's trying to buy Judy's affection," Olivia observes. "But Judy's too smart for that." "Thank God." Jack runs a hand through his hair, a gesture Olivia now recognizes as a sign of deep stress. "I should have been here. You can't be everywhere at once, and Judy handled it well." "Thanks to you." He looks at her, gratitude evident in his eyes. "You protected her." "Of course I did, and I care about her." Something shifts in his expression. "I know you do. That's what makes you different from—" He doesn't finish the sentence, but he doesn't need to. "Different from Catherine." The comparison hangs between them, weighted with implications neither is ready to voice. The next morning, Olivia checks on Margaret to find her struggling to breathe, her normally pale complexion tinged with blue. "Jack," she calls urgently. "Call an ambulance." Everything happens in a blur after that. The paramedics arriving, Margaret being loaded onto a stretcher, Jack climbing into the ambulance with her, his face tight with worry. "I'll take Judy to school and meet you at the hospital," Olivia promises. At the hospital, the news is not good. Margaret has suffered a significant cardiac event. The doctors manage to stabilize her, but make it clear that her condition is now critical. "We need to discuss end-of-life care," Dr. Simmons says gently. Her heart is failing. Jack stands at the window of Margaret's hospital room, watching his mother's chest rise and fall with each labored breath. She's always seemed indestructible, he says quietly. Even when I was a child, she was the strong one, the one who held everything together. Olivia places a hand on his arm, offering silent support. She still is strong. Look how hard she's fighting. But for how long and to what end? He turns to face her. The doctors are talking about weeks, maybe days. I'm so sorry, Jack. His hand covers hers where it rests on his arm. I don't know what I'd do without you right now. You've become... He trails off, searching for words. Essential. The moment is interrupted by a nurse entering to check Margaret's vitals. She's asking for you both, the woman informs them. Margaret's eyes flutter open as they approach the bed. Despite her weakened state, her gaze is as sharp as ever. Stop looking so somber, she chides weakly. I'm not dead yet. Mother, Jack's voice is strained. You need to rest. I'll rest soon enough. Her eyes fix on Olivia. Help me sit up. Olivia adjusts the bed and supports Margaret as she shifts position. Better, much. Margaret takes a labored breath. Now I need to speak with you both about Judy. Jack moves closer. What about her, Catherine? She's up to something, I can feel it. Mother, you need to focus on getting better, not worrying about Catherine. Don't patronize me, Jack. I've known Catherine longer than you have. I warned you about her before you married her, if you recall. Jack sighs. Yes, I remember. She'll try to take Judy. Mark my words. Margaret's breath catches and she coughs weakly. The trust fund is substantial. Over $2 million. Olivia's eyes widen. She knew the Winters family was wealthy, but the scale of it still sometimes catches her off guard. Money has always been Catherine's weakness, Margaret continues. And now that she knows about the trust... We don't know that she knows, Jack interjects. Don't be naive. Of course she knows. Why else would she reappear after 4 years? Margaret's hand, frail and spotted with age, reaches for Olivia's. You need to protect Judy, both of you. We will, Olivia promises. Margaret nods, seemingly satisfied. Good. Now there's something else. She fumbles with the blanket, then produces a small envelope from beneath it. Jack, give us a moment, please. Jack looks between them, confused, but respects his mother's wishes. When the door closes behind him, Margaret presses the envelope into Olivia's hand. This is for you. Don't open it yet. Wait until after. Margaret, please don't talk like that. Like what? Like a dying woman who needs to put her affairs in order. Margaret's laugh is a dry whisper. We both know what's happening, Olivia. Don't insult me by pretending otherwise. Olivia slips the envelope into her pocket. All right, I'll wait. Good girl. Now about Jack. What about him? He's falling in love with you. The statement, delivered with Margaret's typical bluntness, leaves Olivia speechless. Don't look so shocked. It's obvious to anyone with eyes. The question is, what are you going to do about it? I don't know what you mean. Yes, you do. Margaret's gaze is unwavering. He's been alone too long, caring too much by himself. He needs you, not just as a nurse, not just as Judy's caretaker, as a partner. It's not that simple. It never is, but sometimes the complicated things are the ones most worth fighting for. Margaret's eyes drift, close, the conversation clearly exhausting her. Just think about it. That's all I ask. As Margaret falls back asleep, Olivia sits beside her, the envelope heavy in her pocket. Margaret's words echoing in her mind. Jack falling in love with her. It seems impossible. And yet, the way he looks at her, sometimes the comfort they find in each other's company, the ease with which they've created a family unit with Judy. Could Margaret be right? And if she is, what then? Olivia's feelings for Jack have grown increasingly complex. What began as professional respect has deepened into something more affection, certainly, but beyond that, a sense of connection she's never experienced it before. But is it love? And even if it is, can she allow herself to act on it? She's still wrestling with these questions when Jack returns to the room. How is she? Resting now. The conversation tired her out. He nods, taking the chair opposite Olivia Margaret's bed between them. What did she want to talk to you about, if it's not too private? Olivia hesitates. She's worried about Judy, about Catherine's intentions. That makes two of us. Jack's expression is grim. I spoke with my lawyer this morning. He thinks Catherine might be preparing to challenge the custody arrangement. Can she do that after all this time? Legally, it's complicated. She voluntarily surrendered custody during the divorce, but courts generally favor reuniting children with biological parents when possible. He looks down at his sleeping mother. If she can prove she's changed, that she's now capable of providing a stable home, the implication hangs heavily between them. Judy would be devastated. She barely knows Catherine. I know, and the stress could trigger her asthma. Jack's voice tightens. I won't let it happen. I'll fight with everything I have. We'll fight, Olivia corrects him. Together, their eyes meet across Margaret's bed, a silent understanding passing between them. Whatever comes, they face it as a unit now. 3 days later, Margaret's condition deteriorates rapidly. The doctors prepare the family for the inevitable. Jack brings Judy to the hospital to say goodbye, a heart-wrenching visit that leaves them all emotionally drained. That night, Margaret slips into a coma. Jack refuses to leave her side, sending Olivia home to care for Judy. I'll call if there's any change, he promises, but she shouldn't be alone right now. Olivia understands. She takes Judy home, trying to maintain normalcy despite the heaviness in her heart. They bake cookies, read stories, go through the familiar bedtime routine. But Judy, perceptive as always, senses the sadness Olivia tries to hide. Grandma's not coming home, is she? She asks as Olivia tucks her in. Olivia sits on the edge of the bed, stroking Judy's curls. The doctors are doing everything they can, sweetheart. But she's very old and very sick. Yes, she is. Judy's eyes fill with tears. I don't want her to go. I know. Olivia gathers the child into her arms. I don't either. Will you stay with us even if Grandma goes to heaven? You won't leave like Mommy did. The question pierces Olivia's heart. Oh, Judy, I'm not going anywhere. It's a promise she's not entirely sure she can keep given the complications with Catherine, but in this moment she means it with every fiber of her being. Later, as Judy sleeps, Olivia finds herself in Jack's study, drawn to the space that holds so much of his presence. The rich scent of leather books, the faint aroma of the coffee he drinks while working late, the subtle hint of his cologne all combine to create a sense of him, even in his absence. She runs her fingers along the edge of his desk, remembering their conversations here. The gradual evolution from employer and employee to something deeper, something not easily defined. Her phone rings, startling her from her reverie. It's Jack. She's gone, he says simply. 10 minutes ago, peacefully in her sleep. Olivia closes her eyes, grief washing over her. I'm so sorry, Jack. The doctors said, they said she waited until I stepped out to get coffee, that sometimes people choose to go when their loved ones aren't watching. His voice breaks. Even at the end, she was protecting me. That sounds like Margaret, strong until the very last. Would you come? I don't want to be alone right now. The vulnerability in his request tugs at her heart. Of course, let me check on Judy and call Mrs. Chen to stay with her. I'll be there as soon as I can. At the hospital, she finds Jack in Margaret's room, sitting beside the bed where his mother's body lies, now peaceful in death. Without a word, Olivia goes to him, placing a hand on his shoulder. He reaches up, covering her hand with his own. They stay like that for a long moment, connected in grief, no words necessary. Finally, Jack speaks. She adored you, you know, said you were the daughter she never had. I loved her too. She was extraordinary. Yes, she was. Jack stands, turning to face Olivia. She also said you were exactly what Judy and I needed, right from that first day at the cafe. Olivia's throat tightens with emotion. Margaret had a way of seeing things before anyone else did. She did. Jack's eyes, red-rimmed but dry now, search Olivia's face. I keep thinking about what she told me the last time we were alone. She made me promise something. What was that? To not let fear stop me from finding happiness again. His hand lifts, hesitating, just a moment before gently touching Olivia's cheek. She was talking about you. The moment stretches between them, charged with unspoken feelings. Olivia is acutely aware of his touch, of the grief they share, of the complicated emotions swirling through her. Before either can speak again, a nurse enters, breaking the fragile moment. Mr. Winters, the doctor needs us to speak with you about arrangements. Jack drops his hand, the connection broken. Of course, I'll be right there. As he follows the nurse out, Olivia stays behind looking at Margaret's peaceful face. "I'll take care of them," she whispers. "I promise." 3 days later, Margaret is laid to rest in the family plot, a beautiful ceremony attended by colleagues, friends, and employees of Winters Pharmaceuticals. Jack stands stoic throughout, one arm around Judy, the other hand firmly holding Olivia's. At the reception afterward held at the Winters home, Olivia moves through the crowd, ensuring glasses are filled and food is served, keeping busy to manage her own grief. She's arranging a tray of hors d'oeuvres when she feels a presence behind her. Turning, she finds Catherine dressed in a sleek black dress that seems more appropriate for a cocktail party than a funeral. "Mrs. Winters," Olivia acknowledges, maintaining her composure. "I didn't see you at the service." "I was there, at the back." Catherine helps herself to a canapé. "Margaret and I had a complicated relationship." "I see. Do you talk?" Catherine's smile is sharp. "I doubt that very much. You've only been in their lives, what, a few months. I was married to Jack for 6 years. I know this family." "Knew," Olivia corrects gently. "You knew this family." Something dangerous flashes in Catherine's eyes. "Careful, nurse. You're still just the help." Before Olivia can respond, Jack approaches, his expression darkening when he sees Catherine. "This is a private reception, Catherine. Family and close friends only." "And I'm not family," Catherine raises a perfectly shaped eyebrow. "I'm the mother of your child, Jack. That makes me family whether you like it or not." "What do you want?" "To pay my respects, of course." Her gaze shifts to Olivia. "And to discuss certain matters regarding Judy. Perhaps somewhere more private." Jack hesitates, then nods tersely. "My study, 5 minutes." As Catherine saunters away, Jack turns to Olivia. "You don't have to deal with her." "It's fine, I can handle Catherine." "You shouldn't have to. Not today of all days." Impulsively, Olivia reaches for his hand. "I'm here for you, Jack. Whatever you need." He squeezes her hand, drawing strength from her touch. "Thank you for everything." As Jack heads toward his study, Olivia returns to her duties, trying to push aside her concern about whatever Catherine might be planning. She's checking on Judy, who's showing her school friends the garden, when Eleanor Winters, Jack's sister, approaches. "So you're the nurse Mother was so fond of," Eleanor says, her tone neutral but assessing. "Jack speaks highly of you." "Thank you. Your mother was a remarkable woman." "Yes, she was." Eleanor studies Olivia with the same penetrating gaze Margaret possessed. "She was also a master manipulator when she wanted something." Olivia keeps her expression neutral. "I'm not sure what you mean." "I think you do." Eleanor sips her champagne. "Mother always had a plan, always 3 moves ahead of everyone else. And her final move, it seems, was you." Before Olivia can respond, a commotion erupts from the direction of Jack's study. Raised voices, then the sound of something breaking. Olivia and Eleanor exchange alarmed glances before hurrying inside. They find Jack and Catherine in the study, facing off like combatants. A broken crystal decanter lies shattered on the floor, whiskey seeping into the expensive carpet. "You can't do this," Jack is saying, his voice tight with controlled fury. "I already have," Catherine replies. "The papers were filed this morning. I'm seeking full custody of Judy." Eleanor gasps. "Catherine, you can't be serious." "Completely serious. I'm her mother. I have rights." "Rights you signed away," Jack reminds her harshly. "Willingly, eagerly even." "A mistake I intend to rectify." Catherine turns, noticing Olivia in the doorway. Her smile is cold. "And I think the courts will be very interested to hear about the living arrangements here. A young single nurse moving in just days after meeting my ex-husband. How convenient." The insinuation hangs in the air, ugly and deliberate. Jack steps forward, his face flushed with anger. "That's enough, Catherine. Get out. Now." "Gladly, my lawyer will be in touch." She moves toward the door, pausing beside Olivia. "Enjoy playing house while you can nurse. It won't last." After Catherine leaves the room, falls into stunned silence. Eleanor is the first to speak. "Jack, is she serious? Can she actually challenge custody after all this time?" "I don't know." Jack sinks into a chair, the weight of the day finally overwhelming him. "My lawyer said it would be difficult but not impossible, especially if she can prove she's changed, that she's now stable and capable." "And the insinuations about Olivia?" Eleanor asked, glancing between them. "Is there any truth to that?" Jack's head snaps up. "Absolutely not. Olivia is Judy's nurse and mother's caregiver. Her living here is completely professional. The words, though technically true, cut through Olivia unexpectedly. Is that all she is to him? After everything they've shared, the connection that's grown between them. I should check on Judy, she says quietly, needing space to collect her thoughts. As she leaves the study, she hears Eleanor say, Jack, you need to be careful. Catherine will use anything she can against you. I know, Jack replies, his voice tired. But what am I supposed to do? Fire Olivia when Judy needs her most? He stops abruptly and Olivia moves away, not wanting to eavesdrop further. But the unfinished sentence echoes in her mind. When I what? When I need her too. When I care about her. The rest of the reception passes in a blur. By evening, when the last guests have departed, exhaustion settles over the household. Judy, overwhelmed by the day's emotions, falls asleep early, clutching the teddy bear Margaret gave her on her last birthday. Olivia finds Jack in the garden sitting on a stone bench, staring up at the stars beginning to appear in the twilight sky. Judy's asleep, she says softly, sitting beside him. Thank you for taking care of everything today. I couldn't have managed without you. You don't have to thank me. It's what friends do. He turns to look at her, his expression unreadable in the fading light. Is that what we are, friends? The question hangs between them, weighted with possibility. Olivia's heart races, uncertain how to respond. I think we're more than that, she admits finally. But I don't know what to call it. Neither do I. Jack's hand finds hers on the bench between them. But I know that I care about you, Olivia. More than I've cared about anyone since Catherine. Yes, and it terrifies me. The admission, so honest, so vulnerable, touches something deep within her. It scares me too. Because of Catherine, the custody battle. Partly, but also because, she takes a deep breath, because I've spent my whole life taking care of others. My mother, my patients now, you and Judy. I'm not sure I know how to be cared for in return. Jack's hand tightens around hers. Maybe we could learn together. The moment stretches between them, fragile and precious. Then Jack's phone rings, shattering the silence. He checks the screen, frowning. It's the office. I'm sorry I have to take this. As he answers, Olivia watches his expression transform from annoyance to shock to alarm. How bad has the press been notified? He listens, then says, I'll be right there. Don't talk to anyone until I arrive. He ends the call, turning to Olivia with a grim expression. There's been a breach at the company. Someone leaked information about the new medication, all the research data, including the adverse reactions we've been concerned about. Who would do that? I don't know, but the stock is already dropping in after hours trading. This could be catastrophic. Go, Olivia says immediately. I'll stay with Judy. Jack hesitates, torn between crisis and the conversation they were having. Olivia, about what we were discussing. It can wait. Go do what you need to do. He nods, rising from the bench. Then in a move that surprises them both, he bends and presses a quick kiss to her forehead. Thank you for understanding. As he hurries toward the house, Olivia remains on the bench, her skin tingling where his lips touched. The conversation, the almost confession, the gentle kiss all swirl in her mind, alongside the new threats they face: Catherine's custody challenge, the company crisis, the uncertain future. And in her pocket, she suddenly remembers Margaret's envelope still unopened. With trembling fingers, she pulls it out, breaking the seal. Inside is a single sheet of paper and a small key. The note reads simply, for when you're ready to fight for them. The safety deposit box contains everything you'll need. Margaret. Olivia stares at the cryptic message and the key, wondering what Margaret could have possibly left that would help them now. Whatever it is, she knows one thing with absolute certainty: she will keep her promise to Margaret. She will protect Jack and Judy no matter what it takes. As night falls fully over the garden, Olivia clutches the key, its metal warm against her palm. The battle is just beginning, and she is now at its center. The morning after the company crisis erupts, Olivia finds an envelope slipped under her door. Inside is a court summons Catherine has filed for emergency custody of Judy, citing moral concerns about the household environment. The allegations are vicious: that Jack is an absent father, consumed by work, that Olivia has inappropriate influence over Judy, and most damning, that their living arrangement creates an unstable and morally questionable atmosphere for a young child. Olivia's hands shake as she reads the document. Catherine has moved with remarkable speed, clearly having prepared this attack long before Margaret's death. When she shows Jack the summons over breakfast, his face hardens into a mask of controlled fury. She waited until Mother was gone, until we were at our most vulnerable. The timing isn't coincidental. Olivia agrees, keeping her voice low so Judy won't overhear from where she's watching cartoons in the next room. What do we do? Fight. With everything we have. Jack sets the paper down, his knuckles white. I've already called George Reynolds, the best family court attorney in the city. These accusations, Jack. Olivia can barely bring herself to say it. She's painting me as some kind of homewrecker. It's a strategy, nothing more. Make you look bad enough that I'll ask you to leave, weakening both Judy's support system and my own. His eyes meet hers. I won't do it. We face this together. But what if my presence hurts your case? If the court believes these allegations, they won't. Truth is on our side. Jack reaches across the table, taking her man. Olivia, listen to me. Catherine doesn't care about Judy. She never has. This is about the trust fund, about hurting me, about control. Olivia nods, though doubt lingers. The hearing is scheduled for next week. That doesn't give us much time. Time enough. Jack's phone buzzes with an incoming call. He glances at the screen, frowning. The office again. The stock price has dropped 15% since the leak. Go, I'll start gathering whatever documentation we need for the custody hearing. As Jack leaves for work, Olivia kneels beside Judy, who remains blissfully unaware of the storm gathering around her. What are you watching, sweetheart? Space Explorers, Judy grins, pointing at the colorful animation. They're discovering a new planet. Olivia smiles, smoothing back Judy's curls. That sounds exciting. Listen, Judy, you know you can tell me anything, right? If you're worried or scared about something. Judy's smile fades slightly. Is this about Mommy coming back? Sometimes Olivia forgets how perceptive children can be. Yes, partly. How do you feel about that? Judy looks down at her hands. She doesn't look at me right. What do you mean? When Daddy looks at me, his eyes get all soft and crinkly. When you look at me, I can tell you really see me. Judy's voice drops to a whisper. When she looks at me, it's like she's looking at a picture, not a real person. The insight is startlingly accurate. That must be confusing for you. Judy nods. Am I going to have to go live with her? No, Olivia says firmly, even as the uncertainty gnaws at her. Your daddy would never let that happen, and neither would I. Promise. I promise we will do everything possible to keep you right here where you belong. It's the most honest answer she can give, and Judy seems to accept it. For now. Later that day, George Reynolds arrives at the house, a distinguished man in his 60s with silver hair and an air of absolute confidence. He reviews the custody filing with experienced eyes. Standard tactics, he observes. Character assassination, moral panic appeals to traditional family values. Catherine's lawyer is good, but predictable. Can she win? Olivia asks the question Jack seems unwilling to voice. Reynolds sets down the papers. Possible but unlikely, assuming no surprises. Courts generally favor stability and status quo for the child unless there's evidence of harm. Judy has been with Jack exclusively for 4 years, is thriving in school, has established medical care for her condition. But, Jack prompts, but Catherine is the biological mother, which carries weight. And if she can convince the court that the current living situation is somehow detrimental to Judy, Reynolds glances at Olivia. They'll be focused on your relationship. You should be prepared for very personal questioning. Jack's jaw tightens. This is absurd. Olivia is Judy's nurse and my mother's caregiver. Was your mother's caregiver? Reynolds corrects gently. Margaret's passing changes the narrative. Catherine's lawyers will argue that Olivia's continued presence in the household serves no professional purpose. She's still Judy's nurse. A child with an established medical team doesn't typically require a live-in nurse unless her condition is severe. Is it? No, Olivia admits. Judy's asthma is well managed with regular medication and monitoring. Reynolds nods. Then we need to be prepared for them to challenge this arrangement. After the lawyer leaves, tension fills the space between them. Olivia finally breaks the silence. I should move out, at least temporarily, until the custody matter is resolved. Absolutely not. Jack's response is immediate. That would only validate Catherine's accusations. But if it helps your case with Judy, it won't. Reynolds said stability is key. You're part of Judy's stability now. Olivia paces the living room. Then what do we do? Let Catherine paint me as some kind of... I don't even know what she's implying. We tell the truth, that you're a valued caregiver who has become important to Judy's well-being, that our relationship is built on mutual respect and shared concern for Judy. And is that all it is? The question slips out before Olivia can stop it. Jack's expression softens. No, you know it's not. But this isn't the time to define what's happening between us. Figure out what we mean to each other. Frustration colors her voice. When is the right time, Jack? After the custody hearing, after the company crisis, there will always be something. You're right. He steps closer. You're absolutely right. But right now I'm fighting for my daughter and my company simultaneously. You can't add another complication. Olivia finishes for him. I understand. That's not what I was going to say. Jack runs a hand through his hair. I was going to say I can't give us the attention it deserves. Not yet. The honesty in his voice calms her rising emotions. I know, I'm sorry, it's just, everything is happening so fast. It is, and I'm asking too much of you. No, you're not. Olivia takes a deep breath. We'll get through the custody hearing first. One crisis at a time. Jack nods, gratitude evident in his eyes. Thank you for understanding, for staying. The next morning brings another development. A social worker named Ms. Daniels arrives to evaluate the home environment as part of the custody process. She's professional but thorough, examining Judy's living space, her medical supplies, her schoolwork, and most intensely, the dynamics between Judy, Jack, and Olivia. Judy seems very attached to you, Ms. Daniels observes as she and Olivia sit in the kitchen, while Jack shows Judy her new asthma medication upstairs. We've developed a close bond, Olivia acknowledges. Children often connect quickly with their caregivers. And what exactly is your role here now, with Margaret Winters, deceased, I mean? Olivia chooses her words carefully. I continue to monitor Judy's asthma condition and provide stability during this difficult transition period. I see, Ms. Daniels makes a note in her file, and your relationship with Mr. Winters is strictly professional. The question, though, expected, still stings. Mr. Winters is my employer. We share a commitment to Judy's well-being. That doesn't quite answer my question, Ms. Bennett. Olivia meets the woman's gaze directly. My feelings for Jack, Mr. Winters, are complex. We've been through significant events together, but nothing inappropriate has occurred, if that's what you're asking. Ms. Daniels nods, neither approving nor disapproving. And how would you describe Judy's relationship with her mother? Limited. Catherine has been absent from Judy's life for 4 years. The recent visits have been challenging for Judy. In what way? Judy doesn't know Catherine. She's essentially a stranger who suddenly wants to be called mommy. That's confusing for a 5-year-old. Has Judy expressed any desire to spend more time with her biological mother? Olivia thinks of Judy's words. She doesn't look at me right. Not to my knowledge. In fact, she's expressed anxiety about the possibility. More questions follow, probing every aspect of the household dynamics. By the time Ms. Daniels leaves, Olivia feels emotionally drained. How did it go? Jack asks when they're alone. Hard to tell. She's very professional, doesn't reveal much. That's her job. Jack looks exhausted, the strain of the dual crises evident in the dark circles under his eyes. The company board has called an emergency meeting for tomorrow. Eleanor is pushing for my temporary removal as CEO until the crisis is resolved. Can she do that? With enough support, yes. And right now, with the stock in free fall and the media questioning our ethics regarding the medication trials, he trails off, the weight of it all momentarily overwhelming him. Olivia steps closer, placing a hand on his arm. You'll get through this. Both crises. I hope so. He covers her hand with his own. Because I can't lose Judy. I just can't. The next day, while Jack is at the board meeting, Olivia receives a call from the safety deposit box manager at First National Bank. Margaret's key, she had almost forgotten about it in the chaos of recent events. After arranging for Mrs. Chen to watch Judy after school, Olivia heads to the bank. The process is straightforward. Her name has been added to the access list. Inside the private room, she opens the metal box with the key Margaret gave her. What she finds takes her breath away. Files. Dozens of them meticulously organized with Margaret's characteristic precision. Financial records, emails, private investigator reports, all documenting Catherine's activities over the past 4 years. There are photographs of Catherine with various men in compromising situations. Bank statements showing large transfers from companies that compete with Winters Pharmaceuticals. Most damning of all, emails between Catherine and Eleanor discussing their plan to gain control of both Judy and the company. "I'll handle Jack, you focus on getting custody of Judy," reads one email from Eleanor to Catherine. "Once you have her and the trust fund access, we can proceed with phase 2. The discovery makes Olivia feel physically ill. This wasn't just about money, it was a coordinated attack on Jack, using his own daughter as leverage. But the most shocking document is a medical report dated 3 years ago. Catherine had undergone a voluntary sterilization, a procedure permanently ending her ability to have children. The timing, just months after leaving Jack and Judy, suggests a woman who never intended to be a mother again. A woman whose current custody battle cannot possibly be motivated by maternal instinct. Margaret had known. Somehow she had gathered all this intelligence, preparing for the very battle they now face, protecting her son and granddaughter even from beyond the grave. Olivia carefully returns everything to the box, taking only what they'll need for the custody hearing and the board meeting. As she leaves the bank, her phone rings. It's Jack, his voice tight with controlled fury. "Eleanor moved against me. The board has called for a vote of confidence tomorrow." "Jack, I found something." Margaret left evidence about Catherine, about Eleanor. They've been working together. A sharp intake of breath. What kind of evidence? Everything. Financial records, emails, photographs. Margaret had been investigating them for years. "Where are you, Wanderndato?" "Just left the bank." Margaret had a safety deposit box. "Meet me at George Reynolds' office. Right now." Reynolds' office is in a stately building downtown, all polished wood and leather furnishings. The lawyer listens with growing interest as Olivia presents the evidence. "This changes everything," he says, examining the emails between Catherine and Eleanor. "These prove conspiracy, potentially corporate espionage if Eleanor was leaking company information." "Can we use it for the custody hearing?" Jack asks. "Absolutely. It demonstrates that Catherine's motivation is financial, not maternal. The sterilization procedure is particularly compelling, a voluntary choice that contradicts her current claim of wanting to be a mother again." And for the board meeting, Reynolds taps the financial records. These transfers from competing pharmaceutical companies to Catherine's offshore account, combined with the timing of the data leak, that's enough to open a criminal investigation into Eleanor's activities. For the first time in weeks, hope flickers in Jack's eyes. "We can fight back on both fronts." "Yes," Reynolds agrees, "but we need to be strategic. If we reveal everything at once, they might have time to create counter-narratives. I suggest we hold some evidence in reserve." They spend hours strategizing, planning their approach for both battles. By the time they finish, night has fallen. Jack checks his watch, alarmed. "Judy, I told her I'd be home for dinner." "Mrs. Chen is with her," Olivia reassures him. "I texted her that we'd be late." As they drive home through the rain-slicked streets, Jack's phone rings. It's Mrs. Chen, her voice frantic. "Mr. Winters, I'm so sorry. Catherine came with papers, said she had court approval for an overnight visit. I tried to call you but couldn't reach you. She took Judy about an hour ago." Jack's knuckles go white on the steering wheel. "Did Judy go willingly?" "No, she was crying, asking for you and Olivia, but Catherine had a sheriff's deputy with her. The papers looked official." Jack ends the call, immediately dialing Reynolds. The conversation is brief and grim. "Catherine's lawyer filed for an emergency temporary visitation order this afternoon. Judge Calloway signed it. He's known to be sympathetic to maternal rights cases." Without hearing our side, Jack's voice rises in disbelief. "It's temporary, just for tonight. We'll challenge it first thing in the morning, but for now, my daughter is with a virtual stranger who terrifies her, who's working with my sister to destroy everything I've built." After ending the call, Jack slams his hand against the steering wheel. "I should have seen this coming. Should have protected her better." "This isn't your fault," Olivia says firmly. "Catherine is manipulating the system. But Judy is strong, and it's just one night. One night with a mother who abandoned her, who Judy has explicitly said makes her uncomfortable." Jack makes a sudden turn, changing their direction. I'm not waiting until morning. I'm getting her now. Jack, if you violate a court order, even a temporary one, I don't care. My daughter needs me. The determination in his voice brooks no argument. They drive to Catherine's downtown penthouse in tense silence, rain pounding on the roof of the car. The doorman initially refuses them entry, but Jack's authoritative presence and the mention of his daughter's medical needs eventually gains them access to Catherine's floor. Jack pounds on the door. Catherine, open up. When the door swings open, Catherine stands there in an elegant loungewear set, her expression a mixture of surprise and smug satisfaction. Jack, this is highly inappropriate. I have a court order. Where's Judy? I need to see her. She's sleeping. It's past her bedtime. She has an evening treatment for her asthma. You know that. Catherine's smile falters slightly. I was going to do that. Do you even know how, which inhaler, which dosage, when to use the nebulizer instead? Jack's voice rises with each question. Olivia places a hand on his arm, a silent reminder to stay calm. Catherine, Judy's medication regimen is very specific. If she misses a treatment, especially when she's stressed, it could trigger an attack. Something flickers in Catherine's eyes, uncertainty, perhaps even fear. I'm her mother. I can handle it. You haven't been her mother for 4 years, Jack says, his voice now dangerously quiet. Let me see my daughter. Now. Perhaps it's the intensity in his eyes, or the realization that she's out of her depth with Judy's medical needs, but Catherine steps aside. The penthouse is a showcase of luxury designer furniture, modern art, a stunning view of the city skyline. But Jack and Olivia notice none of it as they follow Catherine to a guest bedroom. Judy lies on a large bed, curled into a tight ball, her small shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Her breathing has the slight wheeze that signals the beginning of respiratory distress. Judy, Olivia calls softly at medical instincts taking over. It's Olivia and Daddy. We're here. Judy looks up, her tear-streaked face crumpling with relief. Daddy, Olivia. She launches herself off the bed into Jack's arms. I want to go home. Please take me home. Jack holds her tightly, looking over her head at Catherine. You see, this is what your court order has accomplished. Catherine's perfectly composed facade cracks slightly. She just needs time to adjust. It's natural for her to be upset at first. She's not just upset, Olivia interjects, noticing Judy's labored breathing. She's heading toward an asthma attack. Where's her medication bag? By the door, Catherine says, suddenly uncertain. The deputy made sure I took it. Olivia retrieves the bag quickly, preparing Judy's inhaler. The little girl takes it automatically, her breathing exercises practiced and familiar. That's it, sweetheart. In through your nose, hold then out through your mouth. As Judy's breathing stabilizes, Jack turns to Catherine. She's coming home with us tonight. You can't. I can and I will. Call your lawyer if you want, but look at her, Catherine. Really look at her. Is this what you want? A terrified child forced to stay with someone she barely knows? For the first time, Catherine seems to truly see Judy's distress. The calculated mask slips, revealing something almost human underneath. I didn't think she'd react this way. What did you expect? Jack asks. That 4 years of absence would be forgotten in an evening, that you could just step back into the role you abandoned. Catherine says nothing. Her eyes fixed on Judy, who clings to Jack, while Olivia monitors her breathing. Why are you really doing this? Jack presses. Is it the trust fund? Is that what a child is worth to you? A flash of something guilt perhaps crosses Catherine's face. It's not that simple, cousin. Then explain it to me, because from where I stand, you're torturing a child for money. Eleanor said. Catherine stops abruptly, realizing her mistake. Eleanor said what? Jack's voice is deadly quiet. That this was the way to hurt me, to gain control of the company, to access Judy's trust fund. Catherine's silence is answer enough. We know about the plan, Catherine. Olivia says, her voice gentler than Jack's, but no less firm. We have the emails, the financial records. Margaret kept files on both of you. The color drains from Catherine's face. Margaret. She protected her family until the end, Jack says, and beyond. Catherine sinks onto a nearby chair, her perfect posture crumbling. I never meant to hurt Judy. Eleanor said it would be simple, get custody access, the trust funds share the proceeds. And you believed her after she helped drive you away 4 years ago. Catherine's head snaps up. What are you talking about? The emails, Catherine. Eleanor encouraged you to leave, told you that you deserved freedom from the burden of a chronically ill child, that Jack was using Judy to control you. She wouldn't, but uncertainty clouds Catherine's expression. She would, and she did, Olivia confirms. Margaret had it all documented. Eleanor has been manipulating both of you, playing on your vulnerabilities, all to gain control of Winters Pharmaceuticals. Catherine stares at them, her carefully constructed world visibly crumbling. I didn't know. Now you do, Jack says, his voice softening slightly. So I'll ask again, is this really what you want? To use Judy as a pawn in Eleanor's game? Thunder crashes outside and the lights flicker momentarily. Judy whimpers, clinging tighter to Jack. Take her home, Catherine says, finally, her voice barely audible above the storm. She doesn't belong here. And the custody petition. Catherine looks away out the rain-lashed windows. I'll talk to my lawyer in the morning. As they prepare to leave gathering Judy's things, Catherine approaches Olivia while Jack is helping Judy with her coat. You love her, don't you? Both of them. Olivia meets her gaze steadily. Yes, I do. I never did. Not properly. The admission seems to surprise Catherine herself. I tried, but it felt like an obligation, not a joy. And when Judy got sick, she trails off, shaking her head. I'm not made to be a mother. I see that now watching you with her. People can change, Olivia offers, though she's not sure why she's extending this olive branch to a woman who's caused so much pain. Some can. I don't think I'm one of them. Catherine's smile is tinged with sadness. Take care of them, Olivia. They deserve someone who sees them clearly. The drive home is quiet, Judy falling asleep in her booster seat, almost immediately exhausted from the emotional ordeal. When they arrive, Jack carries her to her bedroom, and together he and Olivia complete her nighttime treatment while she sleeps. Do you think Catherine meant it? Olivia asks as they close Judy's door. About dropping the custody petition. I don't know. She seems sincere, but Catherine has always been a good actress. There was something different this time. When she saw how frightened Judy was, Jack nods slowly. Maybe. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Morning comes with unexpected news. Catherine's lawyer has filed to withdraw the emergency custody petition. The court papers arrive by courier along with a handwritten note from Catherine. Jack, I'm leaving for Paris tonight. The custody petition was a mistake. One of many I've made. Judy belongs with you and with Olivia. I've signed documents relinquishing all parental rights. It's better this way. Catherine. Jack stares at the note, disbelief and relief warring on his face. Just like that, after everything she put us through. Maybe seeing Judy's fear last night was the reality check she needed, Olivia suggests. Before Jack can respond, his phone rings. It's George Reynolds. Catherine's withdrawn the petition, Jack tells him. I know, her lawyer just called me. That's not why I'm calling. The board meeting starts in an hour. Eleanor is making her move to have you removed as CEO. I'll be there. As Jack prepares to leave, gathering the evidence against Eleanor, Olivia touches his arm. Let me come with you. You don't have to do that. You've already done so much. We're in this together, remember? Besides, I'm the one who found Margaret's evidence. Jack studies her face, then nods. Together, then. Mrs. Chen arrives to stay with Judy, who is still sleeping peacefully, unaware that her future is being decided in boardrooms and courts. Winters Pharmaceuticals occupies a sleek glass tower downtown. Security recognizes Jack immediately, though they eye Olivia with curiosity. In the elevator, Jack explains the situation. Eleanor will have the votes lined up. She's been working board members for weeks, even before the data leak. This will be an ambush. Then we'll ambush the ambush, Olivia says, squeezing his hand briefly. The boardroom is already full when they arrive, 12 people seated around a massive table, Eleanor at one end, a chair left conspicuously empty at the other for Jack. Conversation stops abruptly when they enter. Jack, we were about to begin. Eleanor's smile doesn't reach her eyes. I don't believe your nurse was invited to this closed board meeting. Ms. Bennett is here at my request as a witness to certain evidence I'll be presenting. Jack takes his seat, Olivia standing just behind him. Shall we proceed? Eleanor nods to the corporate secretary, who begins reading the motion for Jack's temporary removal as CEO, citing questionable judgment in the handling of the new asthma medication and the subsequent data leak. When the secretary finishes, Eleanor addresses the board. These are difficult circumstances, but the facts are clear. Under Jack's leadership, the company has pursued a development strategy that prioritizes perfection over progress. The result? Delayed products, missed market opportunities, and now a public relations disaster that has tanked our stock price by 20%. She continues building a case against Jack that sounds reasonable, even compassionate. My brother is a brilliant scientist, a devoted father, but the evidence suggests he is not the right leader for Winters Pharmaceuticals at this critical juncture. I propose a temporary leave of absence, allowing him to focus on his personal matters, while an interim CEO, meaning you, Jack interjects, guides the company through this crisis. Eleanor finishes, smoothly ignoring the interruption. This isn't personal, Jack. It's business. Is it? Jack stands, his calm demeanor belying the anger Olivia can sense beneath the surface. Before the board votes, I'd like to present some evidence of my own. Evidence that suggests this entire crisis was manufactured specifically to force this very meeting. Murmurs ripple around the table as Jack distributes copies of the documents from Margaret's safety deposit box. Eleanor's face remains impassive, though her knuckles whiten as she grips the arms of her chair. What you're looking at, Jack continues, are financial records showing transfers from Millerson Pharmaceuticals, our chief competitor, to an offshore account controlled by my sister, Eleanor Winters. The dates correspond exactly to key decisions regarding our new asthma medication. The murmurs grow louder. One board member, Dr. Phillips, looks up sharply. Are you accusing Eleanor of corporate espionage? I'm presenting evidence. You can draw your own conclusions. Jack turns a page in his own copy. You'll also find emails between Eleanor and Catherine Winters, my ex-wife, detailing a plan to gain control of both the company and my daughter's trust fund. A plan that included leaking sensitive data about our medication trials to create exactly the crisis we're now facing. Eleanor stands abruptly. This is absurd. These documents could easily be fabricated. Jack is desperate, willing to slander his own sister to maintain control. The documents came from Margaret Winters' personal files. Olivia speaks for the first time. I retrieved them yesterday from her safety deposit box at First National Bank. The bank can verify when the box was last accessed by Margaret herself 3 days before her death. Convenient timing, Eleanor sneers. Mother dies and suddenly magical evidence appears that exonerates Jack and implicates me. Not magical, methodical. Jack nods to Olivia, who distributes the final piece of evidence, a sworn affidavit from Catherine signed that morning before her departure for Paris. In it, she confesses to her role in the conspiracy and details Eleanor's involvement in both the custody battle and the data leak. Eleanor's composure finally cracks. She's lying. Catherine would say anything to save herself. Perhaps, Jack acknowledges, but the financial records don't lie. The email timestamps don't lie. And the IP address that accessed the secure research database, it traces back to your home computer. Eleanor. Silence falls over the boardroom. Dr. Phillips clears his throat. I think we've heard enough. I move that we table the motion for Jack's removal and instead form a committee to investigate these allegations against Eleanor Winters. Seconded, says another board member immediately. All in favor, Dr. Phillips asks. Hands rise around the table, all but Eleanor's and her two closest allies. The corporate secretary records the vote. Motion carries. Ms. Winters, in light of these serious allegations, I further move that you be placed on administrative leave pending investigation. Eleanor's face contorts with fury. You can't do this. I built this company alongside Mother while Jack was playing scientist in the lab. The company was built on integrity, Eleanor, Jack says quietly. On putting patients before profits. Father's vision, not yours. Security is called to escort Eleanor from the building. As she passes Jack and Olivia, she hisses, this isn't over. Not by a long shot. But her threat rings hollow now. Her power stripped away by Margaret's posthumous intervention. After the meeting, the remaining board members vote unanimously to support Jack's development timeline for the asthma medication, including the companion diagnostic test. It's a complete victory, though it brings Jack little joy. She's still my sister, he says as they drive home. How did it come to this ambition, resentment, the belief that she deserved more than she got? Olivia watches the city pass outside the window. People can convince themselves of almost anything if they want something badly enough. Jack nods, his expression somber. I knew she resented my position as CEO, but this level of betrayal, working with Catherine willing to use Judy as leverage. Some wounds run deeper than we can see. Eleanor's actions were inexcusable, but the pain driving them was probably real. When did you get so wise? Jack asks, a small smile finally breaking through his gravity. I'm a nurse. We see people at their best and worst often on the same day. When they arrive home, they find Judy in the garden with Mrs. Chen laughing as she chases butterflies among the spring flowers. The sight of her joy, so pure and uncomplicated, washes away the ugliness of the morning's confrontation. Daddy, Olivia! She runs to them, her face alight with excitement. Look what came while you were gone. She holds up an envelope addressed to her in elegant handwriting. Inside is a birthday card signed Grandma Margaret, with a note explaining that she had arranged for it to be delivered after she was gone. She knew, Judy says, her eyes wide with wonder. She knew she was going to heaven, but she still remembered my birthday. She loved you very much, Jack says, kneeling beside her, and she wanted to make sure you always knew that. Judy studies the card thoughtfully. Do you think she can see us from heaven, like how Sparkle watches over us in my drawing? I think she can, Olivia says, joining them on the grass, and I think she's very happy right now. That night, after Judy is asleep, Jack and Olivia sit in the garden under a sky filled with stars. The events of the past weeks, Margaret's death, Catherine's custody battle, Eleanor's betrayal, have left them both exhausted, but somehow lighter, as if weathering these storms together has burned away the uncertainty between them. I keep thinking about something Margaret said to me just before she died, Olivia says, breaking the comfortable silence. She told me you were falling in love with me. Jack turns to her, starlight reflecting in his eyes. Mother always did speak her mind. Was she right? What do you think? Olivia smiles. I think Margaret Winters was rarely wrong about anything. She wasn't wrong about this. Jack takes her hand, his touch gentle but certain. I've been falling in love with you since that first day at the cafe. When you sat down, despite having no money for coffee. When you connected with Judy so effortlessly. When you looked at me and really saw me, not just the CEO, not just Judy's father, but me. I saw you, Olivia agrees softly, and you saw me, not just a nurse, not just someone to help with Judy, but me. I still see you, Olivia Bennett, and I love what I see. Jack shifts closer. I know it's been a chaotic time. I know we've barely had a moment to breathe, let alone define what we are to each other. But I don't want to wait anymore. Life is too short and too precious for waiting. What are you saying, Jack? I'm saying that I love you, that Judy loves you, that the two of us are incomplete without you. His voice drops lower, more intimate. I'm saying that I want you to stay, not as Judy's nurse, not as a guest in our home, but as a permanent part of our family. Olivia's heart races. Are you proposing? Not yet. Jack's smile is tender. That deserves its own moment when we're not recovering from multiple crises. But I am asking you to be part of our lives officially, to let me court you properly without pretending our feelings are simply professional. Court me, Olivia laughs softly. That sounds very old-fashioned. I am in some ways. I believe in doing things right. His expression grows serious, especially with someone as important as you. Olivia leans forward, resting her forehead against his. I'd like that, very much. Their first kiss is gentle, a promise rather than a passion, though the potential for more simmers beneath the surface. When they part, Jack keeps her close, his arm around her shoulders as they look up at the stars. What happens now? Olivia asks. With the company, with Eleanor, with everything. Eleanor will likely face criminal charges for the corporate espionage. The company will recover our stock, has already started rebounding since the board meeting. The medication will proceed on the timeline I proposed with proper safety protocols and the companion diagnostic. And us. We take it one day at a time. Build something real and lasting. He turns to look at her. If that's what you want. It is, Olivia says simply. It's exactly what I want. 6 months later, the garden blooms with summer flowers as chairs are arranged in neat rows. A small archway woven with roses and ivy stands at the end of a petal-strewn aisle. Inside the house, Olivia adjusts the simple lace veil on her ivory dress, her hands trembling slightly with anticipation. "You look beautiful," says a voice from the doorway. Olivia turns to find Judy resplendent in her flower girl dress, a crown of daisies on her dark curls. "So do you, sweetheart. The prettiest flower girl ever." Judy approaches, touching the soft fabric of Olivia's dress with reverent fingers. "Are you nervous?" "A little," Olivia admits. "It's a big day." "Daddy's nervous too. His tie isn't straight even though he fixed it 3 times. Olivia laughs, the sound easing some of her tension. "That sounds like your dad." "He loves you a lot," Judy says with a child's straightforward certainty. "And I do too. I love you both so much." Olivia kneels, careful of her dress, to meet Judy at "I love yous." "You know that's never going to change, right? We're a family now, officially." Judy nods solemnly. "I know, but we were already a family before. The paper just makes it so other people know too." The wisdom in her words touches Olivia deeply. "You're absolutely right." A knock at the door signals it's time. Olivia stands, taking a deep breath, as Dr. Phillips, who has become a close friend and mentor to Jack since the board confrontation, enters to walk her down the aisle. "Ready?" he asks, offering his arm. "More than ready," Olivia answers, taking it. The ceremony is small and intimate, just close friends and colleagues gathered to witness the union. But as Olivia walks toward Jack, who waits beneath the flower-covered archway, with an expression of absolute wonder, she feels as though the entire world has narrowed to this moment. This man, this child, this family they have created against all odds. Jack takes her hands as she reaches him, his eyes never leaving hers. "You're breathtaking," he whispers. "So are you," she returns, meaning it completely. The minister begins the ceremony, but Olivia barely hears the words, too captivated by the reality of where she stands and who she stands with. When it comes time for their vows, Jack speaks with a voice filled with emotion. "Olivia, when you walked into that cafe on a snowy morning, unable to afford a cup of coffee, I had no idea you would become the most precious part of my life. You've brought warmth, compassion, and strength into our home. You've loved Judy as your own from the very beginning. You've stood beside me through the darkest storms and the brightest victories. I promise to spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of the love you've given us so freely." Tears well in Olivia's eyes as she responds, "Jack, I came to that cafe because Margaret told me to just show up. It was the best advice I've ever taken. In you and Judy, I found not just a home, but a place where I truly belong, where I'm seen and valued for exactly who I am. I promise to love you both with everything I have, to stand with you through whatever comes, to build a life filled with joy and purpose together." Judy standing beside them with the rings beams with happiness as Jack and Olivia exchange the simple gold bands. When the minister pronounces them husband and wife, Jack's kiss is gentle but filled with promise. The reception is held in the garden, lanterns glowing as twilight falls. After dinner and dancing, Jack clinks his glass for attention. "I'd like to make an announcement," he says, his arm around Olivia's waist. "Today is not just a celebration of our marriage, but of another milestone. The FDA has approved our new asthma medication, complete with the companion diagnostic test." Applause erupts from the guests, many of whom work at Winters Pharmaceuticals and understand the significance of this achievement. "The medication will be called Margaret," Jack continues, his voice thick with emotion, "in honor of the woman who taught me that doing the right thing matters more than doing the easy thing, who brought Olivia into our lives, who protected our family even after she was gone." Glasses are raised in tribute to Margaret's memory. As the celebration continues, Olivia finds a moment of quiet with Jack near the garden fountain. "Happy?" he asks, echoing the question he once posed in Margaret's hospital room. "Completely," she answers, leaning into his embrace. "It's been quite a journey from that snowy morning at the cafe." "The best journey of my life," Jack says, kissing her temple. "Do you think Margaret planned it all from the very beginning?" Jack chuckles. "I wouldn't put it past her. She always did love her schemes." "Well, this one turned out perfectly." From across the garden, Judy calls to them, eager to show them something. She's found a butterfly with wings the exact blue of Margaret's favorite brooch perched on one of the roses. As they walk hand in hand to join their daughter, Olivia thinks of how far they've come. From a woman who couldn't afford coffee to the heart of a family she loves deeply, from strangers brought together by circumstance to partners bound by choice and commitment. "What are you thinking?" Jack asked, noticing her contemplative expression. Olivia smiles, squeezing his hand. "I'm thinking that some things are worth more than all the coffee in the world." "Like what?" "Like this, us, the family we've built." She looks at Judy now, carefully showing a friend how to approach the butterfly without frightening it. "Like a little girl who draws unicorns and collects inhalers. Like a man who values integrity over profit and love over convenience." Jack draws her close, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "And like a woman brave enough to show up when Margaret Winters told her to." As night falls, fully stars appearing overhead, the garden glows with lantern light and laughter. In this moment of perfect belonging, Olivia knows with absolute certainty that she has found her home not in a place but in the hearts of the people who love her. The journey that began with "I can't afford coffee" has led to a wealth beyond measure, proving once again that the most precious things in life can't be bought. They can only be given freely, received gratefully, and cherished completely.